I love what we're doing here. You guys are amazing. I'm a beekeeper on YouTube. I don't know it all. In fact, I'm still learning a lot about beekeeping. And you guys, the beekeeping community here on YouTube, in the comments, whether you're a creator or a beekeeper that's just following along, you're helping out in your comments. You're helping to teach me, helping me to be more aware of some things. Thank you. This hive right in front of me is the hive that just a couple videos ago I had discovered wax moths. Now this is only the day after. Yesterday was the day I did that video. Thank you so much for all those comments and suggestions. The truth is, I had some of those ideas in mind when doing this, but didn't talk about it or didn't do it because I either didn't have the resources available to me at the moment, or I was a little unsure of how to proceed. You guys helped me through that. Several of you made comments that this hive is doomed or it's going to be in trouble because there's not enough bees in here, and I needed to reduce it down to a nuke, meaning 5 frames, or possibly adding frames from another hive in here to give them more numbers, to give them greater ability to bring this hive up to a sustainable level of bees to survive. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in here and look for the queen. If I find the queen, I'm going to bring some brood and bees over from another hive, a few frames, to give them more numbers. If I do not find a queen, if I think they're queenless, I'm going to see what I can do to possibly combine this hive with one of the others, giving these bees a greater chance of survival, and then later I'll split that hive and get this hive back, or another hive. So the first thing I need to do is get in here and see if I can find that queen. Make sure that this hive is in fact queen right, meaning that it has a queen, and if not, they're most likely going to perish anyway, so I'm going to send them over into another hive. So let's see if we can find that queen. No queen on the top. These outside frames here are the ones that I put in. We're going to pull a couple of those out to give us room to work and then see if we can find that queen. I do see some damaged comb here, which could be a wax moth larva climbing through. I'm looking to see if I could see that. Yeah, there's definitely been some wax moth that stayed in here. And so this frame's starting to look bad already. So we're going to pull it out. That could have just been one larva that stayed in, but that's enough. Alright, one frame at a time, we're going to pull this out and just start evaluating. Well, really just looking for the queen. This queen should be a marked queen, should have a green dot on her back. This was a hive from the Gretchen Bee Ranch. Alright, so there's some damage there as well. I might have to go back to the house and get some comb from the freezer, some deep frames from the freezer. I keep them in the freezer to make sure that the moths... Oh, there she is. So we do have a queen. I don't know if you can see her right there, but she's there. Alright, so we're just going to give... I already know that she's here. This hive is queen right. They have a queen, but there is some pressure from the wax moth. So I'm going to pull some frames of brood from one of those other hives to put in here to build up the number of bees. Looking to see if there's any additional damage on this end. Okay, I don't see any. All of this is new comb, new frames that I put in. Oh, yep, there's some on this, and you see that? There's a moth right there. Got it. I am wearing my cool vest under here because it's very warm today. It's a nice day, it's beautiful, but it's very warm. So in this one, this was the third hive that I inspected. Number 3 in a line here. This one had a lot of bees and a lot of brood. So we're going to see if we can take some resources from that to put in over here. There is the queen excluder, so there should be no queen, no brood up in here. So I'm not even going to dig in here. I already did that yesterday. We're going to take this off and set it aside and see what's down below. This is the queen excluder. Making sure she's not on it. I don't see her. I'm going to look for 3 very strong frames of brood. There were frames of brood in both of these boxes yesterday, so they should have enough. I may, we'll see, reduce this down to just the 2 boxes after I take some frames out. But let's just see what we got. There's a butterfly. That is not a wax moth, that's just a butterfly. I think they call that the emperor butterfly. My friend Drake White, the butterfly lady, would know that for sure. Maybe she can confirm. Go on over there. Get off my finger! She likes me. Oh, she flew off and came right back. Come on. There we go. Okay, I can tell already, just refreshing my memory, there are some empty frames up here, so it's quite possible that I'll be drawing this down by 1 box. This one has a queen cell on it, and I don't see any brood. Looks like they're bringing honey up in here. Has some wonky comb. There's actually another queen cup on the bottom of that one. Okay, yes, we're going to be drawing this one down because there's too many empty frames up here. And I don't want to take their honey. There's another queen cup. They're all empty. This one has 3 queen cups, but they're all empty. Some of these with more comb on it I'll be putting down into the bottom. That's a good one. Honey and resources, so I'll be putting that one in the bottom too. So let's take this box off. I don't want any of these frames in that other one, but I will be taking some of these frames and putting back down into this hive as I take 3 frames out of the bottom. I will be placing these 3 frames that I'm transferring over into my hive butler just to take it from here to there. See, I have more than one of the reasons I'm choosing to do this instead of just reducing that one down to 5 frames. It may be better to do that, but I have more than 5 frames useful over there, so I'm thinking this is a good strong hive. Maybe it would be better to take some of the strength from this one instead of reducing that one down. I might be wrong. I have always reserved the right to be wrong. I'm looking for eggs. There's plenty of young larvae on here and eggs too, so let's just make sure I don't have my queen. Looking around, I don't see her on this side. don't see her on this side. So I am going to take this frame, put it in my hive butler. So we're going to take another frame here, right next to it. Checking this out, looking for the resources. There are eggs. Again, looking for my queen. I don't want to transfer the queen into the other hive. I just need some of these bees and resources, brood resources, to transfer over. A lot of these bees that are hanging out here are nurse bees, meaning that they're just going to stay with the brood. So we have eggs, we have brood. We don't have a queen. That's good, we'll take that one too. And we'll just look on the next one, because then we can scoot everything over, put some of those other frames. There's a lot of bees in this hive, so this is a stronger hive. This is a very good frame as well. Actually, they have honey and pollen and nectar. Probably more nectar than honey. Make sure I don't have the queen on here. I don't see... There's a lot of larvae and eggs. So there's 3 good frames there. I just need to make sure I'm not taking my queen over. And I'm pretty confident that I don't have her. So we're going to put this over here as well. Let's go ahead and just take a peek to see if we see the queen. I would feel a lot better. At this point, I would feel a lot better about moving these bees from this hive if I see the queen, just because I'll know she's still in there. Now, a lot of the bees that are flying around didn't immediately go to this box, the hive butler, which tells me I probably did not transfer the queen, because a lot of them would follow that. So the bees that are flying are not congregating on the frames that I'm moving, so that should be a good thing. But let's just dig in a little bit more to see if we see her. That's a solid frame of brood there too. So feeling really good about this hive. They have plenty of numbers and plenty of bees coming out. I don't see her on this frame. Sometimes she's not on a frame, sometimes she's down in the hive. Check this one. This was just a frame of resources on the outside. Not obvious on that frame either. So this one, even though it's a very strong hive, that second box wasn't really strong. So I may be doing this one a favor at this point by drawing it down. Okay, I don't see her here either, so hopefully we do get a view of her, a glimpse. There's a lot of movement on that frame, but I don't see the lady. Oh, there she is. Okay, I see her. I don't need to show her to you guys. She's on the bottom of that frame if you can see her. But she is good, she's happy. She just told me so. So we're gonna put some of those other frames from the box that was here that had the resources, we're gonna bring them down. Put that frame in there and we're gonna checkerboard a little bit. Hopefully they start building that up with brood. Use this other one that does not have a lot of honey on it. We're going to put the one that has a lot of honey on the outside, because that's more natural to what they would be doing. Good. A lot of these are empty, so we're going to take those back to the house. We're going to put the queen excluder on here. I'm going to do this in stages. I'm going to take this box, the Hive Butler that has the 3 frames of brood, to move them over there, and then we'll put those empty frames in here to take them back to the house. Now here is the struggling hive, 3 frames of brood. Let's get those in here, hopefully giving this hive a better chance. These are frames going to the freezer. Now we get to load the Hive Butler up with the frames that are not being currently used, so they can go back to the freezer or somewhere in storage, and we'll bring them out hopefully real soon. But I want to give each of these hives, the ones I just disturbed, a better chance at survival. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't always know the best answer. Sometimes I have thoughts, but I don't act on them because I'm unsure or for whatever reason. So you guys reinforcing those ideas to me in the comments is helpful. Even if the comments conflict a little bit with my own beliefs or even with each other, because there are many different ways to do beekeeping. That's okay, because I get to filter those ideas through my own thought process, my own belief system on beekeeping, and make better choices. This lid is nice because it's ventilated, so any bees that get trapped in here will stay alive. And what I found yesterday is that when I carried it to the house, by the time I got up there, the bees were aware that they were no longer in their hive. I opened it up and almost all of them flew out immediately, presumably coming back to the hives. And then later, I put the lid back on, and about an hour later, I did that again, and the rest of them flew out. So no bees perished by getting trapped in the box. Get this one closed back up. We're going to be putting the honey box here back on with the queen excluder, and in another week or so we'll come and make sure this hive has plenty of space. My smoke stayed lit and I didn't even hardly need it. There are quite a few bees in that box, but like I said, they will get out. As soon as I get to the house, all the jostling around, I think, helps them understand that they should probably find a way back to the hive. Truly, I love what's going on here on YouTube in this community. I know that beekeepers a lot of times disagree because there's so many different ways to do it, and I think that's fine because everyone has a story and every story counts, right? And when one person puts up something that they know or they think, their observations, that helps someone else to have something to think about. I don't think any of us really should, I have to think about how I say this, I don't think anyone would benefit by trying to mimic a style 100% without ever thinking for themselves. If you find a mentor online or in real life and you want to use their style for the first few seasons, that's fantastic. But eventually you're going to want to start trying things on your own. And That's not necessarily my goal, is to just do everything different. It's just I do what I do based on the time and the resources and the knowledge that I have in that moment. I am just sharing every step of the way, and I love how you guys are coming alongside and sharing your knowledge and your opinions to help the entire community figure out how to best beekeep, or at least just know that beekeeping is accessible and you can do it. There's so many different answers, so many different ways. Not all are right, but you kind of have to just do it to figure out where you are in that process. So thank you again for being here in the audience, in the comments, and helping me on this journey. I do truly believe that everyone has a story and every story counts. Thank you so much for being a part of my story through this video and letting me be a part of yours. I'll talk to you soon.